It was March the 25th, 1963, and I had opened an office for our family in Nashville. My brother rolled into town that day and he said, hey, Tommy, this is your brother John. I said, yeah, I recognize your voice. He said, close the office down and come over to the studio. I said, why? He said, I'm going to record a song today. It's going to be the biggest hit I've ever had. I said, how do you know? He said, I just have a feeling. Well, I closed the office down and went over to Columbia Records next door. It was the Carter family and me and the horn players and my brother and his band and me. And I got to witness this song being born that day, November the 25th, 1963.
It's a tribute to my brother Johnny Cash. How did this came to be?
Well, the promoter on this tour, Kieran Cavanaugh, wanted to try this heading, My Brother Johnny Cash. And we weren't sure it would work, but it has worked beautifully. Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring.
And this is the first time you're performing with the Deaf Americans?
Yes.
How did you guys get to know each other?
Well, again, the promoter, Ken and Kieran Cavanaugh, found out about them and asked me if I would do a show with them. It's a wonderful experience playing with these guys. I can tell they love what they're doing, and I love what they're doing. Burns, burn, the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Look out, man.
How was it for you to grow up with a brother like Johnny Cash? Did it help you in the music industry, or maybe not?
Well, let me give you an answer to two questions there. When we were growing up, he wasn't Johnny Cash. He was my brother JR. That was his real name, JR Cash. And, he left home when I was 10 years old. Mm-hmm. He joined the U.S. Air Force, and he was gone to Germany for 3 years. He spent 4 years in the United States Air Force, and I didn't really get to know him until we were both older, and we bonded together after we become adults. But the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down. I had to make it on my own. My brother wanted to help me get started in the music business, and I said, no, let me do it on my own. And of course, I toured with him a whole year in 1976, which was our bicentennial year. And we did 121 concerts that year. And I opened the show, every venue, I opened the show for a year. And I really got to know him that year better than I had ever known him before. And I found out that it's true, he is really a wonderful human being. The ring of fire. All right. I'll be right back after a short intermission.
How was it for you to finally get to know him on that tour?
It was a wonderful experience. I got to listen to his conversations with other people, and of course he and I bonded and we talked together an awful lot. Mm-hmm. And I got to be friends with all of his musicians and all of the people that work with him, which are a great many. He had about 20 people on salary all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of everything he accomplished. And I think he accomplished things that most of us only dream of. And I'm very proud of him. I miss him so much, as I do all of my siblings. My brother Jack was killed when I was 4 years old. And our brother Roy passed away in 1993. My oldest sister Louise passed away in 2003, and of course John and June in 2003. And let's see, my sister Reba, who managed Johnny's offices for 30 years, passed away in 2006. My sister Joanne and I are the only two left out of 7. People asked my brother all of his life, why do you wear black? And he said, well, I think it makes me look thin. Here's some of the reasons that he wore black. You ask me why he always dressed in black, why he never wore bright colors on his back. Well, I was a disc jockey. I played records and loved radio when I was a kid growing up. And my nephew and I, Roy Cash Jr. and I, worked at a country music station in Memphis. And about the same time, my brother had become a big star. And of course, we started singing Johnny Cash songs and Roy Orbison songs and Elvis songs and songs of the very popular people in the mid-50s. He wore the black for the old and sick and poor, who spoke their wives at his door. But just so we're reminded of the ones who are held back, up front there ought to be a man in black.
A couple of years ago, you released your last album, Fade to Black. It's been called a bit of a tribute to Johnny Cash. Could you tell me a bit about the album?
Well, the album is a combination of things. It's some of the songs that I wrote, one of them many years ago, and I'd never recorded it, so I started to do that. And there was a song or two in there that I've always wanted to record, something that, like Skip a Rope. I always loved that song, and it was a big hit back in the late 60s, but I wanted to do it in my album. And some of the songs that I wrote, I wanted to go ahead and put them on CD and then move on to another project. So there's a variety of songs in that album, and it's called Fade to Black.
Still a little darkness on my back. Up front there ought to be a man in black.
Well, this is about my 25th time to come to Western Europe, and I've been to Holland several times. I've been to Denmark. I've been to all the Scandinavian countries. Even went to Helsinki, Finland 3 or 4 years ago. And I know I'm getting older and I won't be able to do this much longer, but as long as I can do a good show and as long as my voice continues to hold up, I will continue doing this show and other shows with my band. But I'm not ready to quit yet.